everybody, and welcome to video 7 in our Steampunk Journey series. We're using we're using nautical steampunk and steampunk trains kits. And the reason our first project is out is I wanted to show you real quick. I had added a bunch of metal to this, and so I wanted to show you real quick. You know what? My light's not on. How about that? That's probably better. I added this clock on the front, these gears. I added these gears to the flip out. I added a charm to the card. I'm not sure exactly how much we had done. I don't think any. I added this key and this gear, and the gear in the center looks like a heart onto the acetate belly band. I added a charm. I think we had the charm on there on the card. And then I added the gear to the word gear. I added the large, medium, small gears to the pocket page. I added this giant heart to our double flip out page. And for some reason, our magnet came off. All right, I'll have to take a look at that. It looks like maybe the glue didn't hold. I've never had that happen before. And the magnet's under there. How are we going to line that up? Oh, it looks like we didn't put a magnet under the paper. Well, it looked like it held perfectly fine without it. Flip like this, and it flips like that. I think the arrow is heavy enough to hold it down. And then on this page, I added the two little gears here. I added a gear here. And when you open this up with the notebook page, I added the word Steampunk Machine and two gears there. All I have are gears and cogs right now. So that's what we got. Some gears and a cog there on the envelope, and then 4 gears on the back, well, 2 gears and 2 cogs on the back of the project. Now, one other thing that I would like to tell you is that I got my scorched timber in between the first video, or not the first video, in between the 6th video and this video, and I may use this to stamp the folders for this project that we're going to do, which is the second one, which is the tall, skinny folio. It depends on how many pages we use for this, whether we make the book or not, but it looks like we're going to have plenty to make the book. Okay, so our basic inks that we're using for this project is black soot, ground espresso, and spiced marmalade for the rusty color. Not rusty hinge. It doesn't look right on the manila folder. The spiced marmalade makes a nice rust effect on the manila folder. So let's go ahead and get our whiteboard out of the way. Whiteboard, that sounded funny, like we were drawing on a whiteboard. Let's get our wooden board out of the way. Okay. And now we're using, sorry, my head was under the table. We're using the same papers. I've got these business or legal sized manila folders. Now, we're going to make a tall, skinny, so we're going to be cutting off quite a bit of this for the width. Gosh, I wonder how much the width was on the last one I did. I think 5.5, so that we could use a full width page. So we're going to go with 5.5, 5 3/4 by 11 1/4. Okay, So let's go 5 3/4 wide by 11 and, let's see, 11 and a half, 11 1/4 tall. Open up my paper trimmer here. I'm going to save the tabs. 11 1/4. Remember to save your flips, your little openings, your end pieces. And remember to keep the closed side, the folder side. So you're going to be cutting off the tab side. And we're going at 5 3/4, which is right in the middle of that place where it folds, of course. So it's not a super skinny, but it is skinnier than, oh, I know why. I know why. Because we take the tab and we draw it and then we cut it out. That's what we did, so that we had tabs. So then we cut the pages down a little bit. We should have cut this. No, because that's what makes it a skinny. Okay, now I remember how we did it. We've also got this tab too. So let's take our second folder, and I'm wondering if we should make a big one and use 3 folders instead of 2. So this is going to be 11 1/4. By 5 3/4. And then keep your tabs for this one too, even though we don't need them for templates. But we can use them possibly this way as pockets. The smaller ones anyway. Let's do 3 and see how. That's 4, 8. That's 12. We did 12 in the ring bound. So we're going to do, remember to, when you're cutting off the 5 1/2, make sure to put your tab part in the paper trimmer first, so you're just cutting off this rectangular part and not cutting off the tabs, or you won't have the tabs to use as pockets because they'll be on these. Okay, so put your folder in this way in the paper trimmer the first time to get your 11 1/4. Okay, or 11, yeah, 11 1/4. And that gives you this scrap or extra. And then turn it sideways this way with your fold on this side. Put it in the paper trimmer and do your 5 3/4. Because the papers are a little smaller actually than 5 1/2. Okay. Now we're going to decide, well, actually we should probably ink these. Make sure they're all the same size. Get our scraps together, our tabs together. I mean our, little flip up scraps. And we're going to take each one. And I like using the smaller tab. And we'll make top and bottom tabs. Okay? So we're going to lay this up against here. Then we're going to take our pencil still standing up. It's kind of hard for me to see even with my reading glasses. Take this right here. I've got some more on order from Temu. You know, they've got some inexpensive readers on there, but I had to wait till I could find some 2.5, 2.5s. Maybe not draw it quite that dark. Then we're going to cut this out. Should we cut it out on both? No, just the front. Anyway, they have some cool glasses. I'm getting some round ones. Some John Lennon ones, kind of. Only they're acrylic. They're not plastic. They're made out of acrylic. I was manager of a Pearl Vision. I don't know if you know this, the general manager of a Pearl Vision for 10 years before I got injured on the job. I don't know if you guys know what banker boxes are, but they're those white boxes that you keep files in. And I had about 6 of those fall on me and pin me to the floor, and I was there laying there for about a half an hour before my associates realized I was missing. So now we've got this. Oh, that's the same one. So now we have this, which gives us a tab to start out with on the front cover. Now if you want tabs on the inside, you can do more of these. I think I'm going to do another bottom and another top just on the front covers. It's going to make it a little weird to glue them together. Are any other tabs going to stick out though? Because they're just going to make pockets. Well, that's alright, because then you can see the card that's in the pocket. Oops, hold on. Knocked over the paper trimmer. There we go. So, okay. So, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to redo this on these two. So, I'm going to do one more bottom, flip it over and do one more top. Then, I'm going to ink all the edges of the manila folder, all of them, the centers. All we need to cut first. Okay, let's scratch that for just 1 second. So let's go ahead and do all the tabs. Let's number this. 1, comma, cover, or parentheses, cover. We can't number write on these yet. We want the cover labeled. So let's do this one. And now this one's going to actually be glued to the back of this one. So that'll make this a pocket. But we'll see the card, because we'll make the card this width. Sorry about my yellow fingernail still. And I'm wondering if we should cut this out on both. Because then when we glue this to here, no, we don't want to do that, because we may want to trim them some way different. I used to when they're folded in half the other way, and you use the paper, you can cut in an extra page. On this, we can make the double flaps, and we can turn one of the flaps into a pocket. Okay, there's that one. Where's my other piece? Here it is. And this one. And then take these square corners and use your corner rounder on them. I guess I could have made them all top ones and just flipped one over. So we're not using center ones. The old shaky hand syndrome is kicking in. Okay. Oh, I just did it on both. Well, let's do this one on both, and maybe we'll put it in the center. It'll be all right. And try to round this a little bit. Try using your corner rounder first. And if that doesn't work, use your scissors to round it a little bit. Okay. Let's see if our corner rounder will fit in there. I don't think so. But you never know. So you're going to have to round that one by hand. It's not going to work on both of those. Should have known. It's kind of a silly thought, wasn't it? Why isn't it working at all? There we go. I don't know what was stuck in there, but that was kind of weird. Or like they say in Little Shop of Horrors, weird. One of my favorite movies. Oh, I didn't cut this one out. And that way it looks more like a manila folder. Okay, now let's decide what we're going to do with these. You know, we could do that's right, when we cut flaps, it eliminates the pocket. No, it doesn't necessarily. Because this is going to line up with this. we can cut a flap here. So let's do a larger flap and then make the bottom one into a pocket. We just have to remember to paper this first, so that when we make the pocket, the paper's already there. Yeah, that's all right. So let's do 2/3 approximately and 1/3. Let's use, I just threw that piece of paper on the floor. I have no idea why. Let's use this as a guide. Now these are not lined up even. I just want to make a mark. Where that little part of the, the tab is. We have a corner on the inside in here we're going to have to round as well that I missed. Or either I just missed that altogether. Knew I had a pencil somewhere. So let's mark it right here. And then we will measure that. We'll make it an even number. Six and a quarter, that works. Is that 6 1/4 or 6 1/2? Let's make this 6 1/4. It's just a hair over. Let's make it an even 6 1/4. Now we're going to leave this. We're not going to cut into this. So let's make 6 1/4 here. So we know not to cut into the 3 gusset marks. So we're just going to go from here to here. And we're just going to cut that. And we can always make 2 flaps if the pocket doesn't work out right. And then we'll use whatever we put in this pocket to hold the flap shut. Okay. It's an eraser. A line. So let's label this pocket. And then paper, backing, paper first. And we can glue it together before we do that because we won't glue this down as a pocket until we paper the next page. Okay, so we'll make a pocket and a flap here. Then on this one, this one's supposed to be turned this way. Now we could do a double instead of a pocket. We could do double flip outs. Let's do that for something different. And now for something completely different. Alright, so let's do do 6 1/4 from the top. Oops, cut there. Oh, we're going to cut off the tab if we do it that way. Can't do it that way. Oh, we're not going to cut it off, but we're going to be in the tab. So let's do, what, 5 1/4? Will that work? Let's do 5 1/4. There's a fat side and a skinny side to your Tim Holtz ruler. And this side is metal, and it's for using your paper trimmer with it, or your blade with it. This side goes down narrow like a regular ruler, and it's for drawing lines and things with your pencil. It's also got a zeroing side to help you determine the center of something by matching the how far out it is from the zero, so that it's the same on both sides. Then you know where your true center is. A couple of nice features. And it's also got these guidelines, so if you want to make sure you're 1/4 of an inch in or 1/2 of an inch in consistently, then you can line your edges up with the 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1 inch all the way in, and just make sure it's a straight line, and then you can draw your line. Just a little side note on the Timmy ruler. Now remember, we're only going to draw to that gusset line, that first one. So we're going to draw that to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue the two gussets together. That should be enough to hold the flips and the flaps together, because these will be glued to the other ones as folders. So the whole back side will be glued on this one. Okay, so that's going to go against that. This is going to go this way, and it will be glued on as a large pocket. And then the tab will be on the back, which is what we want. And fortunately, I would like the tab in the back to be on the bottom, but we can't because it's going to be top, bottom, top. That's all it's going to be. So now let's take our pages and go back, and we've got our cover. And then we have page 2, 3, write it light, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, this is right. Now these two are going to be glued together. So we're going to put glue as pocket. And glue as pocket. And we left off at 11. This is going to be 12. This is going to be 13. I wonder if we should cut a flap on the back. And paper this and make this a pocket with a flap on the back with the card holding it in like we were originally going to do. Well, then that would restrict what we could do on here because the pocket would be attached here. So we could paper this first, glue our pocket, and then do whatever we want on the top. Nope, I don't like that. And then 14. So we end up with 2 extra whole pages. Seems like we should end up with more. 10, 11, 7, 8. The reason we had to do all this first is so you knew where to ink. Okay, so these are going to go together. And up here, I'm going to put folder 1. This is going to be folder 2. So we know what order they're going to go in. This is going to be folder 3. So that way we can put them back in the right order. And this is the top. This is the top. And this is the top. Okay? So that gets us this far. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to either just ink or ink and stencil or ink and shade. Do whatever you want. And remember, you're going to have 1/8 of an inch on either side. On the tab sides, you're going to have more. So you're going to have 1/8 of an inch in from where the narrowest part is. So you're going to want to ink or stencil or something in the tab itself. Otherwise, it'll just be manila folder colored with no pattern or anything on it. So I'm going to use the same stencil I used in the ring-bound journal, which is this kind of industrial looking one with the rivets and things on the bottom. We are doing the steampunk, the nautical steampunk, So we might be able to use this on this larger project. So if I could find somewhere, that's why I said write these lightly. You know, you could just use this on one of the smaller ones and leave a manila folder underneath. I'm not sure. I don't know if that would work in my mind. Anyway, we're definitely going to use this and not this side. We're definitely going to use this, but I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to use this side, the bottom and the top. Okay, I don't like this side as well because it doesn't have the rivets. Even though it does have this in it. Well, we're not going to be going in that far, except on the tabs. I'll have to think about it. But anyway, this is the stencil that I'll be using, and I'm going to be using the, I guess I should make it the same. So I'm going to be using the ground espresso to make the stencil, and then use the spice marmalade for the rust. Now, when you do these, you want to make sure that you do this inside here, because this is going to fold right at this line. In fact, let's fold them at the score line. The third one, the farthest one away from the fold, the factory fold in the center. I'm going to fold that. That way you know to ink this fold here up these, okay? And you'll want to ink it on the back side too. And then you want to do the same thing here, only they're going to fold basically inward. So we're going to fold them this way. Which is just going to make it easier to glue together. You still have to ink it the same way. Don't forget to ink the area in between, or I usually just stencil the area in between on all four sides. So you got, you know, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll have the center part all around the edges, the tabs, and the middle part. You can stencil if you want, or you can wait and put some kit paper in there. We've got these strips, you know, and these might look kind of cool in there. This one's very close to being the width. Same with this one. Yeah, all these bigger ones are almost the right width. I've got these sitting under my gears. Oops, I guess I got to take this one off. My hands are getting cold enough that even with my hand warmers on, that I have to take my big rings off. They're too heavy and they slide right off when my hands are cold. And that's too narrow. That we could cut down. That one we could cut down. That's kind of neat. And we only need 4, I think. And here's the one with the light bulbs, which I think I'm definitely going to use. Okay, so just some thoughts. And so we'll come back after we get it stenciled, and we will get it glued together, and then I think that'll be the end of this video. Okay? Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, you guys ready to go? I've got everything inked and stenciled. In fact, I inked and stenciled some stuff I didn't even need to. Excuse me. And so now we're going to glue everything together. Okay? So this won't take very long if we do it right. We're going to glue this gusset to this gusset. We'll wait for the air bubble. You want to glue it pretty good because the two gussets are the only things holding these two folders together. Okay, you don't want to glue your glass surface. Okay, so let's glue these together. You can see I glued it as a pocket and I went ahead and stenciled it. Okay, we're just going to glue this gusset to that gusset. And we're going to bring them down. We're going to glue them together. Make that a little more even. It's a little hard because it's now all loosey-goosey because you have to fold this both, well, not this one, but you have to fold this both ways to get the black stenciling. Oh, I did black on the edges, remember? Black soot on the edges. And then black soot on the papers is what we'll use. Then this was the ground espresso, and then the orange is the spiced marmalade. Now, we're going to glue this to this as a pocket. Now, whoopsie, we have to decide. I think we need a side pocket. I don't want a long, tall pocket. So let's glue this to this as a pocket. I told you this wasn't going to take very long. And the reason I stenciled and inked the top is because you'll see it. And you'll see the tabs from the front. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and ink and stencil the tops. The sides and the bottoms, like I did, well, I was just stenciling everything. I went on a stencil mania thing. I was stenciling for over an hour. So let's glue these two together as a long pocket. Let's make sure these are even. Sorry about sticking it up in the camera. It's kind of tall. Well, it isn't kind of tall. It is tall. Okay. Now, on the cover, we still have 15 minutes. Let's just go ahead and stop here. And we'll start on the cover the next time. And then we'll do pages. We'll do the cover. And maybe this side. Maybe this one and these two. We'll try. We'll try to get those done. And don't forget, you're going to need magnets to hold these flaps down. Well, that's just not going to work now, is it? You need help is what you need. Gonna have to put a magnet on here, a magnet on here to hold these two together, and then a magnet here to hold the whole thing together. So let's erase our magnet marks from here. And here. I forgot about the gusset, holding it the other way. Okay, so we're going to need a magnet here and here. And here, and here. So that means here, we got to make sure we're careful about where we write because of the tabs. Yeah, that one's going to be fine. I need a magnet here. And a magnet here. So we'll do the magnets first, maybe next time. A magnet here. Magnet. We need one for there. And a magnet here. We just don't need them on the front side. We're gonna attach them all this way. Okay, and then remember we're gonna paper these. That's why I inked on either side. And then what else are we gonna do? Yeah, so this is gonna turn like this one like this, and then the whole thing turns. And this one like this one like this, and then this like this with the big pocket in the center. See, I told you could see it. See, that's why you wanted to stencil on that one. And then I'm gonna, you see where the rounded corner meets that little notch tab? We're gonna fix that up. Looks like I glued the whole thing a little crooked. You can see a little bit of the folder down here. Okay. Alright, well that's all we're going to do in this video. Got everything glued together, everything cut out, and all that good stuff. So that will be it for this video. And I'll see you in the next video. And that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.